You are looking live. You are looking live at Math Makes Money, where we are going to make you a better trader. We're going to teach you how to do a great job of trading. We're going to show you everything that we do and how we do it. We're going to make trading fun, and I get to do it with my best trader I ever met in my entire life, Nick Battista. How are you, sir?
My man, thank you. I appreciate that intro. I'm sitting here like Delta Flat. Turn those machines back on. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. We got the market opening in about 5 minutes. I am excited to get back at it, but I'm good, man. I had a good weekend. I was just at the Air and Water Show, a Chicago pastime. They fly all the, big, Navy planes, Air Force planes. It's pretty electric. I mean, we're
USA,
right on,
baby. USA.
Yeah, it's pretty great. We unfortunately had some kind of cloudy weather all weekend, so it's been delayed on and off. But it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. Those things are, I mean, it's amazing. It is amazing to watch. And they stall out at the top and float down, and then they get going again, and they do loops and circles, and they're all together, and it's crazy. Those guys are badass.
Now that's air. What about water? Tell me about the water part.
So the water part they do at North Avenue Beach, which I was at. I was more towards like Navy Pier, Cafe Olivia, this like place that's kind of on the water.
Yeah.
Like a restaurant. They have like a little get together party sort of thing. I know the owner, no big deal.
Oh, I was gonna say, you know a guy who knows a guy.
I know a guy that knows a guy, but so the water part wasn't really near us, but they do the water part. They do like, helicopter rescues, and they have all sorts of boats that come through. It's really cool.
Very cool. Very cool. I love those kind of things. I love going to airplane shows. We have a lot of those around here. Tyler lives in an airplane community, where John Travolta used to live, where they not only have it's a nice.
Does not fly though.
What's that?
He does not fly, because I texted him when we had the at the in Rosemont, we had the like collectors. I forget what they call it. Collectors of America, National Collectors of America event thing. I went to it. It's more sports card collector. I know he does like the Pokemon and stuff like that. But I texted him. I was like, hop on a flight. You could be here for tomorrow. And he was like, no flights.
It's amazing. Probably could add his neighbors flying. These neighbors all have, there's 1,400 homes in that community called the Spruce Creek Fly-In. 600 of them have hangars. And so you got 600 people in there with a $3 million toy. It's an interesting group of people. That's for
I'm sure.
That is for sure. Millions of dollars worth of cars in there. And the thing they never supposed to never talk about it, because it's quite but it's heavily guarded facility.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool. A lot of race car drivers there because of NASCAR and all that stuff. So, I was thinking you guys should have come down for NASCAR, right? I'm guessing you've never been to a NASCAR.
No.
You gotta come.
When's the next one?
Next weekend.
Really?
I believe so. I don't know.
Okay, how about after that? Is there another one?
There is. It's called the Daytona 500. It's in February. It's in February. That's pretty crazy. That's a deal. That's a deal. The one that's here in the summer is nice because you get the biggest fireworks and all that. Time check. We got 90 seconds to go. Do you want to see a quick PowerPoint?
Yes, I do. Hey, shout out to Kyle. Spent the weekend here in cloudy Chicago. He knows exactly how I feel about this cloudiness. Let me know where you were. You said you were in the suburbs. Give me some more info. I'd love to know that. But yes, Rob, to you, sir.
My sister, by the way, lives in Crystal Lake, and they have some big, gigantic boat race there, right? Some speed.
Really? Crystal Lake, it's not too far outside the city, but it's kind of out there. It's a little, it's past the normal stomping grounds that I get to. It's more of a destination, kind of up there by Wisconsin.
Her husband runs a family car dealership that sells to, guys in the city. So that's
yes.
Cadillacs they get from only Cadillacs. Like that's all they sell. They come down to Florida, get 1-year-old Cadillacs from old people and bring them up there.
That's smart.
They've been doing that for 100 years. So, but I'm sure they're lovely. All right, here we go. 30 seconds to go. I don't know if we got time for a PowerPoint. But
let's do the PowerPoint once the market opens. We'll wait for the market open. I'll give you.
Look at that. This is
don't spoil it.
What?
Don't you spoil it yet. We're going to wait till the market opens. I'll
Oh,
go
my
through
bad,
the
my bad.
market, and then we'll get to your PowerPoint, okay?
Okay. All right. Sorry. My bad.
We got 30 seconds. We got 30. Then no less, 10 seconds.
And Maria said that she don't work on Sundays.
That's right.
If you're looking for Maria, you are sadly mistaken. Look at that. Right to the upside. Like I said, all I need is for it to go down. I need the darn thing to go down 500 points so I can get some crazy.
You're not getting it today. You got E-minis up a point of very muted open here. 7,800. You got the Nasdaq up 37 here at 30,175. You got the Dow up down 9. You got the Russell down 1. Very nothing open here. You got oil futures catching a little bit of a bid up 23 cents, about 1/3% here. You've got volatility futures unchanged 1790. I mean, we had a 1425 VIX on the close on Friday, just anemic volatility here. You have bonds down 4 ticks, gold and silver both flat here. I mean, just this is as nothing as it gets.
As nothing as it gets. And unfortunately, you know, all I can say, though, is that the great news is that last week we had a killer week.
Yes.
The S&P 0DTs that Phil does, our AI robot, he made a killing last week. So that was kind of nice. I think he was up over $100,000 last week, which was...
Well, it was 52 just on Friday. I mean, it was really... Yeah, it was an absolute monster of a week. And it's kind of crazy because it was a tough run for a couple weeks. It shows you got to just keep staying in the game. You can't cherry pick.
Yeah, his July was not good. And but you know, the crazy Ivan held up. So you know, it was unfortunate. I cannot, if you look at my positions here.
Oh, shout out Kyle, stopped at Bad Coffee. I hope Sosnoff gave you the tour.
You probably get a free coffee. If you mention my name, you get free coffee. I'm pretty sure.
Really? I didn't know you had that poll.
I'm not sure all the employees are aware of that. That's not a guaranteed deal. But I tell you what, if you send me the bill, I will pay for it. How about that?
There you go. Perfect.
That will get anybody a free coffee at Bad Coffee. And I assure you, it is not bad coffee.
It's all right. It actually, if you want to know, the coffee that they're bringing in is courtesy of Christy Ross with U3 Coffee.
Really? Now that I've actually heard good things about it, and I have had that coffee. I think I have some in my pantry. I might have a cup tonight.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of coffee out there. I've been getting coffee from a coffee store in Orlando called Kia. I said, well, you know, it's
like the car.
Yeah. And he said, no, it's not Kia, it's Kiwi, Kiwi. I said, oh, Kiwi coffee. What flavors do you have? Kiwi. Said,
that's it?
That's what I said. He said, yeah, he gets it from, of course, Kiwi coffee. You would think New Zealand, Ethiopia, of all places. And these guys bring it in like by hand to his store from Ethiopia. Wow. And he air dries it. I mean, I don't want to make an ad for the Kiwi coffee in Orlando. I'm not even sure you can buy it other than going into the store. But I'm telling you, Nick, it's the best darn coffee I ever had. It's not bitter. Yeah, it's not bitter because I'm going to say the words wrong. I'm saying it wrong, but I believe it's called air roasted. And just a neighbor of mine was the one who suggested I try it. I couldn't believe it. At first I'm like, this is no good. And Maria's like, try it. It's really good. Normally we get our coffee in Italy. And so, because I like a espresso type of coffee, but it's very good. It's very earthy. But let's do some work.
Okay.
So, all right. So the Qs are up 44. You know, a lot of people ask me how I have AI pick all of our trades each week, and they say, you know, we watch you on these shows, and sometimes, Rob, you're a bit of a clown. And I said, yeah, that's kind of a bit we do, but the way it works and what Maria was telling people, you ought to
I don't know if it's
people,
a bit, Rob. That is
a bit.
Okay. You don't hide, you don't pull anything back. So let's just be clear. The Rob you see, the Nick you see, they're purely authentic. Okay. This is not the veils have been unleashed.
Veils have been pulled back.
Yeah, they've been pulled back. This is the Rob Helmick that I know.
Well, one of the things we look at a lot of different things, Phil and I do. And one of the things we talk about a lot is that almost every company in the world needs two things. They need energy and they need money. And if they don't need money, that's people say, Apple and Google, they got billions of dollars. SpaceX, they got billions of dollars. NVIDIA, billions of cash. That's true, but their customers need money. So if you watch and say, well, how do you judge the costs of energy and money? I said, it's really easy. It starts every Sunday at 5:55 or at 6 p.m. because the futures, Nick Battista will bring you and tell you how much money costs, and he'll tell you how much energy costs. And you can tell a lot about the market just from that. And so that's one of the things that
7,800 is what the energy costs you today.
That's what it is.
30,000 if you want some Nasdaq energy.
That's it. And like, if you want oil, Nick can tell you the price of oil.
It's the 81.79. It's the beauty of markets is the price is what it is. Like
the price is what it is.
People always say, don't you think like it's, the prices have gone too high or we're in a bubble or whatever and whatever. And all those things are like hindsight. You look at it and you say, oh yeah, 08, we were in a real estate bubble, but in the moment it is what it is. And people buy it and sell it right at that price. And so, it is what it is kind of the key here.
It is what it is. You can see what the cost of money is if you look at the bonds. You can see what the cost of energy is if you look at oil and gas. Yep. And then you can figure out, you have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen in the market if those things go up or down. But here's the dirty little secret. When it comes to zero DTEs, it just doesn't matter because we're not making an investment. All we're doing is we're going to sell something to somebody who's willing to overpay it. They know they're willing to overpay for it, but it's like buying a lottery ticket. The reward is so much better than the risk, right? For them, they view it as, well, I can get 10 to 1 and I only have to win 2 out of 10 to make money. Yeah. You're only going to win 1 out of 10. That's why we sell it. But go ahead and think that. It's like in the lottery. Say, well, I only have to win 1 time and I win $1 gazillion. That's true.
Hey, the Illinois, the last lottery winner was an Illinois person. So I missed my shot.
That you missed your shot. But you know what? You're that close. And that's what every single person says that we sell premium to. Almost beat Rob. We almost beat him. We'll get him next time.
Yeah.
Hey, keep trying because I've only done it 40
Or sometimes they will get you, Rob.
Sometimes
they win. They win. It's okay.
47% of the time they beat me.
Yeah.
47% of the time, or us, they beat us 47% of the time. So, all right, let's take a look at the PowerPoint. If you guys see 53% in there, you'll know where that comes from, right? That's where we are. All right, here we are, Sunday, October 16th, as it is. And we're going to put this up here where I can see the darn thing a little bit better. And there it is. Great. All right. Where are we? 1.4 million. It's a shame. It is absolute shame that we don't have some, what would you call it? Sound effects. Oh, wait, what?
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I've been told not to do those.
Oh my God, this new Math Makes Money picture, Rob. Oh, this does me dirty. Oh no.
I tried to get a hold of you this weekend, but you were at the air show, and I was trying to find out.
I'm going to have my people work on this. This looks, okay.
It's pretty funny, huh?
I don't know about that.
I said I'd make it worse. Make it worse. No, I didn't do that. That's the best I could do. Look, this is one I was trying to go with, but Maria's not in it. That's a good one of you up above me there. That's good. And by the way, we got to change that one because now we're at 1.4 million. So. Wow. Yeah. So there we go. So, you can see it. All right. So let's go to the PowerPoint. So, okay, this is both the SPX, the zero DTEs and the Crazy Ivans. Here's the zero DTEs. You can see 37,000 trades. We're up 71% in 10 months. And that's after fees, commissions, and slippage. So they're doing good, right?
Yeah.
And the Crazy Ivan's doing good. He's up 65%. And
flat right now, though. No Crazy Ivans on him.
Yeah, look at that. Nothing. This is what's killed. But that's kind of how it goes. It's stair steps. Look at that. Here's another one. Here's
a couple.
Look at this. I was having no fun.
I can't imagine.
Bored out of my mind.
See, that looks like it was about a month, maybe even longer. And I can't imagine a world that if I wasn't here, you would do that, which I'm impressed. I would feel like you would get the itchy fingers. You'd be like, okay, I just need like 1 or 2 of them. Just let me get a little bit.
Give me a taste. Give me something.
Yeah, give me a taste. Yeah.
And you know what? That might be 2 months, right? March, April, May. March, it might be 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And look, here's another one. Well, now look at this. There's a lot of them. Look at that one. Look at that one. Look at that. That's no fun. Wait. Then, but it comes, and that's when people come to you. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. Like, okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll just tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to keep doing it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So okay. People, small account. What about those, Rob? Yep. Small account, same thing. 73%, almost identical amount, right? Almost.
Yeah.
The $1 million account is 71%. The small one, 73.
And we are compounding these. So we are
yeah.
adding,
It's compounding.
like it is compounding on itself, which will grow it. You have to do that. You can't not do that. So
this is a real account. This is a real account with real money. 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 Here's another one. Tyler just started this one 58 days ago. And he was singing, he was planning a trip to Chicago over here. Now he's planning a trip to the other side of Daytona. And so,
okay. There's probably stuff to see over there.
And we had him working so hard, he had to take a week off. he forgot to run the robots. But that's up.
All right.
All the new robots are up and running tomorrow. Big announcement. We're going to show you all the cool stuff. It's going to be really neat tomorrow. It's going to be fun. This is a $200,000 account. We only started 37 days ago. We show you up or down. This one's down. And it's been popping along here, but it's coming back. It'll come back. I'm not worried about it. So this is where we are. And, 41,000 trades. I get it. 207 days. And you can see mixed together, it's pretty flat. I mean, pretty steady, not flat. It's pretty steady. Yeah. These two whopped each other out, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay. Out of what, 10
months, we had one down.
11 months, you have one down. I mean, that's no big deal.
No big deal. Here's the zero DTEs. Here's the crazy Ivans. Here's the crazy Ivans. They've been doing great. Mathmakesmoney.com. That's where you can sign up. We got all kinds of new software coming out on Monday. You're going to see how that works. Sign up for the waiting list there. Trading Addict newsletter Maria does. Comes out at 7:40 a.m. It's a pretty funny one for tomorrow. She was showing me some of it today.
Ooh.
Yeah. And our Math Makes Money trading team, we are getting bigger and bigger. And to get on that trading team, you need to sign up here. And then Nick and I will do a 15-minute Zoom interview. We accepted 53% of the applicants last time.
Mm-hmm.
53%. So not everybody gets in. And I got to do this Instagram. I don't really know how to do that.
We'll work on it. Don't worry.
I appreciate
we got time. We got time.
Something. I don't know. I use the Instapot. I never used Instagram. And it's not what you think, you marijuana people. I get it. All right. So 67, 6,800 bucks a day. Green 10 out of 11, and down 4.7. Sharp ratio of 3. Any sharp ratio over 2 is killer. If you can make it over 1, you're really great. And these quant funds, hedge funds trying to get in with Nick and I at our Math Makes Money trading team. You are no bueno. We are not letting you in.
Can't give them our secrets.
No, if they get in, we're kicking them out.
Yeah.
We got our own hedge fund coming.
Yeah.
But the lawyer tells me 2 more weeks. The lawyer has been telling me 2 more weeks. Simon.
That's the Sosnoff. That's the Sosnoff.
2 weeks. He's been telling me for 2 months. That. 2 more weeks, Rob. 2 more weeks. Almost there. So, okay. So we've lost 4 days in a row once, and our winners are bigger than losers. This is pretty straight stuff. And the chat room. So that's it. That's enough. That's enough of this falderall. The good news is we're up over 1.4 million, and let's go to the account. And I'm begging it to be down 500 points so I can get in on these crazy Ivans. I'll go in at 300 down, but I'm not going in at 57.
You got the ammo to start being a little bit more aggressive if you want to. I don't think it would hurt you to have 1 or 2 or 3 of these on.
Well, you're saying that because you know that you're the one that got me into these hedges, and you want me to start hedging something.
It's true. It's true. But I mean, you'll be able to put those on without using any buying power because you already have those longs on. So I say that in one way because I think there's something to be said about always having long delta in the market because that is just that. And I talked about this with a group on Friday and if anybody is in the chat from that Discord group that I was speaking with, please let me know and just check, just so I know that you're in here, that you came to say hi. But I think there's something to be always being long. I think it's something, it feels good to be long and be positive. It's a positive thinking type thing. I think a lot of people that are short or always short just don't have good outlooks on anything. And so I think that is just simply being long delta and, market's going up. Everybody's getting, it's good. It's good in general. I think it's like a positive thing.
I wish Howard, I would like to always look at the bonds. I always look at the ES. I always look at the oil, the gold, not so much, but oil. And that's money and energy. That's what I look at. And
the core position in the house, Sam, my man. Thank you. That was the group that I was with.
The core position in the house. Core position was the name of the group?
Yes.
Very
I'll
cool.
be doing that more frequently. I'll be around. Trying to get my feet wet with the Discord groups and everything. There's a lot going on.
That must be good. I often have said I would never join a club where they let somebody like me be a member. So that's probably core position is probably.
Hey, I'm going to put you on the road too, Rob. You're going on a world tour. Don't worry. Think
I'm willing to go this far, either side of this screen. This is about the distance I go. That's about. I got a T-shirt that says, "Don't make me go over the bridge." We live on an island, and right on the ocean. I'm not interested in going anywhere else. I went surfing today for about 1 minute. And I never even got in the water, so it's not even technically surfing. I didn't even get my board out of the garage, but the dog and I went down right to the beach, and then we turned around and came back and said, time to get back to work. So we did a bunch of back testing this weekend. Phil does. Last week we did about 100 million trades. We cut it back to about 50 million trades this week. We only had to do half as many, so that was kind of nice. It was a little bit, about I think 14, 16 hours. Worth of back testing, but then that's all the work I'll do for the rest of the week.
And you say that as if you're holding Phil's hand.
I'm not. Phil's doing the labor. The only thing I do is
Rob's saying that, and meanwhile, it looks like he's got a little bit of a tan going.
I got a little golden glow.
Yeah, you got a little golden glow there, like a cookie fresh out the oven.
We had fun. I could back test. I'm a mathematician. That's really my background. I was a professional mathematician in casino for years.
Yeah.
And although I was a lawyer and started an internet company, from 8 years old on, I was playing cards and then playing, for money when I was 14, and then doing it in casinos professionally when I was 16, as long as they would let me pay for my school and my law school. And then when I retired at 42, I went back in again, and both times they invited me to stop. But that is my true calling, and that's all options are. To me, it's just one big math game. It's just one big math, and that's why it's called Math Makes Money, because I firmly believe that, and that has been my experience for over 2,200 trading days straight.
It's a good segue, and if you got questions, throw them in the chat. We've got some time to answer some questions, whatever you want to talk about. Nothing is off limits, but Zippo Joker threw this one out. I think it's an interesting question. What market conditions do you think would break your system?
I will tell you, Zippo Joker, I don't know that there are any. And I'll tell you why. Is that and it's not really my system. It was built with Phil, the AI trading robot, and myself together. And in my experience in casinos, really playing cards since I was 8 years old. My grandparents, they taught statistics and mathematics for 40 years as college professors, and they gave me a book of random numbers at 14, a slide rule, and abacus for my birthday. These are nerds, right? Total nerds. So as a nerd, what I've discovered is that if you find a advantage, right? If you find a mathematical or expected value, if your expected value is positive, that is, if for every dollar you put in, you get more than $1 back, then you want to do that as often as you can. So to put it in terms of a casino, if you could go find a slot machine that would pay you $1.03 for every dollar you put in, you just put in as many dollars as you can. And the way the casino works is they make it so it pays out 97 cents. And you go into a casino and you hear lots of bells and whistles. So that's just their marketing. You go into a casino, you walk out to someone who's brand new, never been in a casino before. They say, wow, what did you think? They say, wow, everybody's winning. I said, what do you mean? Well, I saw bells and whistles everywhere and lights and ding, ding, ding. Yeah, well, you didn't realize all those people down there, they're all depressed, walking out with empty cups. Turns out there were for every 50 winners, there were 53 losers, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. But so when we get into selling options on zero DTEs, at least on zero DTEs, people view it as a lottery, or they have to buy them for whatever reason. And so we just want to sell them, and we will always be able to sell them for just a little bit more than everybody else. And so now you have lots and lots of people say, well, I want to do that, right? That's a great deal. I'll be a seller too. Well, to sell, you have to have a lot of buying power. So then you say, well, what about the gigantic funds? You say, well, there's not enough of a market for them to do it. Believe it or not, you can't put $1 billion into zero.
And it's too active. I tried to I had this conversation with the group on Friday. What rationale would a $10 billion hedge fund have to go have, a handful, if not more, people sit at a trading desk, slinging 0 DT options for, a small edge. It doesn't, it's scale. There's a scale that it gets to where it's really, really, really lucrative, where I think you are at, and where I think most people can be at in that $100 to $1 million account size range. Like that's like the bread and butter spot to be. But when you get to the really high marks, from a risk perspective, from a management perspective, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, which makes it a really interesting spot, because I don't think the edge goes away. I think it always will persist. I think volatility will always be high in the 1 day options, 0 day options versus anything else. So it's always going to be, there's always going to be an edge there. I think, to your point, the number of occurrences is always going to be the problem. You have to be able to withstand, moves against you. In your chart, you had to draw down from, July into the early part of August. And that stunk. I mean, it's a blip on the radar now, but that's what happens.
It's hard to live through that. But the other thing is that there's lots of opportunities, because literally millions of combinations of slot machines. Like I said, last week we tested over 100 million. So what you do is you test the 100 million, you say, well, okay, we only need to trade 200 of them. That's it. So are we going to take the best 200? Oh, no, we're not, my friend. Absolutely, we're not, because we don't want to have any large drawdowns. We always want to be, as a gambler, what I learned was, as a card player, you always want to have enough money to bet tomorrow. If you don't have money to bet tomorrow, you absolutely positively cannot win anything tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you have to have money. It sounds like something simple. So people say to me, what's the most important thing? Max drawdown. That's the most important thing. I'm at 4.7%. I know exactly what my worst has been. I know exactly where I am every single day, and every single minute of the day. I have Phil reporting that to me constantly. I never, ever, ever want to be over 2%. That way I could lose 10 or 20 max loss, 10 or 20 days in a row. I'm still in the game, because I know I will have expected value over time, right? Over time. So then you have a herd of people that want to do what we do, and they're selling premium, and they're going to watch TV or listen to whatever the latest guru is, or some zero DT hedge fund, whatever. And they're going to say, go over here, right? This works great. And this is where it is. And so when they do that, and they're selling over here for $1, Nick and I are over here selling for $1.20. It's the same thing. We're just getting more money for it. So then what happens is Rob and Nick, I saw them on TV. Let's go over here. Well, okay, Rob and Nick go over here. And then we just stay away from the herd. So we get just a little bit more, a little bit more. And so we're going 53 to 47. That's 6 points. Remember, I was asked to leave the casino when I had a half a point advantage, 50.5 to 49.5, the total being a spread of 1. Now I have a spread of 53 to 47, a spread of 6. I'm loving this. This is easy money. This is easy money, as long as you have enough money to stay in the game and you don't go big. When they say trade small, trade off, and I used to hear people say, oh, they just say that to try and get you to trade a lot. No, they don't. No, that's just totally, that's not thinking. You're not thinking clearly. People that tell you that aren't thinking. They haven't thought it all the way through. They want you to win, right? Yeah, of course they want you to trade, but how do you trade? If you don't have money, you can't trade. If you lose, you can't trade. They want you to win, and they want you to win all the time. Number one, you'll trade more. Number two, you'll have more money and you'll trade more. It's a win-win for them if you win. That's called a win-win-win, Nick. That's the WWW. That's as good as it gets. They want you to win. So when they give you advice, listen to them. Trade small, trade often is not just a motto. It's a legitimate way to win. Anything you ever heard from Tom and Tony was about management, right? They did. Of course, they would tell you the trades. They would just take trades from anybody, but they determined the management. What was it? 45 to 60 days, take it off at 21 days to go, or 50% profit, whichever one comes first. Easy rule to remember. Why is that? Because it has a positive expected value. Yeah. Why? Because the herd was moving here, and they just said, no, go over here. This is where you're going to win over the long run, as long as you bet small. This is a slot machine that works. That's why I love those guys. That's why I watched you all those years.
Of course. And I will say, Dr. John has a great comment here of if you win, who loses? And this is something that the markets are so big and liquid. You don't know what is on the other side. It's not like I sell a put and somebody else across the world is buying that put from me and I win or he loses, like that's, like I win or lose and he wins or loses. It's not like that. You don't know what other people have or what is being traded around. Let me give you an example. So if you're long, Nasdaq futures, or if let's say you're long E-mini futures and that's your core position. If you wanted to hedge for the day, you could buy SPX puts. It's a cheap way to hedge that position. Now, if your puts lose, that doesn't mean you're losing money. You're losing money on that trade. But if you're long the E-minis and the E-minis are up 50 points, you're going to be making more on that versus the small hedge. So you can imagine that happening, millions and millions of times across the market where, yes, of course, there are people who are just buying calls or buying puts who win or lose. And that is like really the only outcome for those two people or for those people. And then there are a lot of people who are trading against other positions, or maybe they have long Nasdaq stocks and they're buying puts in the Nasdaq, or they're short Nasdaq stocks and they're buying calls in the SPX to hedge the position. There are so many ways. It's not a zero sum. It's not I win, Rob loses, or Rob wins, I lose. It's a whole basket, and it's hedging, it's accumulation of all those positions. So it really isn't a zero sum of winners and losers.
It is not. We are selling insurance. So if you have a Ferrari and you insure that Ferrari, you pay for insurance and you don't get in an accident, right? Who's the loser?
Ken Griffin does win. I will give you that. Ken does a very good job at what he does. He does win. He
does not do zero DTEs.
Yes. So those are all SIBO. So like that is not, Kenny G does not dip his toe in that. But but that goes to exactly what we're trying to say here, as if you have a market making type strategy, which if you boiled it all down to what Rob is doing throughout the day, he is doing what old market makers used to do. So my dad, his whole trade, anybody that wanted some trade would phone in to the desk. Well, I want to buy these calls. I want to buy this put spread. I want to sell this put spread, whatever. My dad takes the other side of it. His entire day was hedging that position. So if he's, net short put spreads, he has to be selling call spreads, or he has to be, you're constantly trying to butterfly around where the market is trading. And that's what Rob is doing throughout the day. So like he starts with the iron condor and it's a little bit wide because the day hasn't really started. And then as the day gets closer to the end, you're getting closer and closer at the money. And he's creating this huge butterfly. We actually kind of showed it on the curve view on Friday throughout the day. And most of the time, he's a scratch or a small profit or a small loss. Like that's kind of the way market makers make money, is they stay in that zone 95% of the time. It's small win, small loss. It's negligible because they're taking a spread on each of the things that they're taking. So they're capturing, 1% or 0.5%, a tiny, tiny little edge that, over thousands and thousands and thousands of occurrences means something. Rob's kind of in that same realm where he's constantly, adjusting the position and where his risk is. And over time, it's that tiny, tiny little edge that he's taking out of that position. And so it is very much like what market making or market makers do, is what you're doing, Rob.
And it's like everybody can own a casino. Everybody can do this. If you have $20,000, $30,000, you can do this. You're just going to do it small. The problem is it's very tempting to do it large.
And Rob's a winner because he has Maria. I will give shout out to John. That's right. Who do you think's the brains behind the bots? Okay. It's Maria back there. I know that.
The Crazy Ivan is 100% created by her. 100%. And she corrected Tom and Tony about that and has made no bones about it. That is exactly right. And she has proven that time and time again. But when it comes to the zero DTEs also, I have never once forced someone to take the other side on my position. Not once.
No.
I've always said, this is what I'm willing to trade it for. And it's amazing. 40,000 times people come and say, yeah, that's a good deal, Rob. I'll take that.
Yeah.
And so they're winners because they've got other things. They own those Ferraris and they just want to protect them. And they'll say, well, I'll give up. Yeah, Rob is going to make a few pennies. He's going to make $10. That's no big deal. Yeah, well, if you're doing enough of those $10, what do you know? You make $1.4 million.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm doing. And I'll tell you why markets will never, ever, ever ban me. Right? They will never ban me.
That's the next question. It's an interesting question, but yes, go on.
They need me. The SIBO loves me.
You're the greatest thing to ever happen.
The SIBO would be well served. If there's anybody at SIBO watching,
sponsor this channel.
That's what I was going to say. They would be well served to sponsor us because probably no one creates more SIBO traders than me. The Math Make Money team is people have joined us. I mean, a lot of people, and we have shown them exactly how to do this, and they're doing the same thing, and they're winning, and all they're doing. And I say winning. All they're doing is they're getting paid to provide us. It's not a competition. No. They're getting paid to provide a service. If you sell, if you sell Coca-Cola for $1, who's winning? Everybody.
Everybody.
People, no one ever did. Coca-Cola never ever put a gun to someone's head and said, you got to buy this Coke. People doing it willingly. And they say, yeah, of course I'm willing to pay more than it costs them, but I love Coke. Right. Yeah. And so I want to insure my Ferrari. And yes, I understand the insurance company is going to make money, but that's okay. And when someone wants to buy a put or a call, they'll say, well, I understand that Rob's going to make a little money, but that's okay. He's not, killing me on it. And that's why I buy lottery tickets. I know lottery tickets, they only win 50% of the time. They are only 50% of the money comes back. That's insane, right? It's insane to do it.
The biggest profiter from the lottery is the government.
The government.
The government loves the lottery. That is
right. So SIBO will never stop us. In fact, I would not be surprised if they would come and encourage us to do more because we provide a market. We provide a liquid market. And, one of the real problem about lowering the PDT rule was not that people don't know what they're doing. I don't believe for a second that I don't believe that the amount of money you have determines
dictates how
your
you
knowledge.
can trade. Yeah, your knowledge.
There's no way those are related. There are a lot of smart people who just don't have enough money to trade. That's all. That's the only thing they need is money. Prop firms are a great example of how that proves itself, right? Yeah. They loan you money to trade, and exceptional traders can make a lot of money doing that. So now that the PDT rule is reduced, there's a lot more people that want to buy puts and calls than there were before. Well, they need a market to do that. SIBO wants that to be super efficient.
All those things about markets are cyclical. Correct. The market has had these huge moves, and there's a lot of FOMO. There's a lot of chase. There's tweets. That's what the market environment is. And so people gravitate to what is happening. And for right or wrong, if you are buying calls on any dip, you're making money. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is not, you're not wrong. That is not a wrong thing. But these things will change. It's not going to always be like this. I've talked about, 2016, 17, 18, when volatility in the VIX was at 10, 11. It was a way different market than what it is right now. And I'm sure in 08, when, all the boomers were, tell you that you'd never seen a true bear market, I'm sure that was different too. And 2000, that was really different too. It's going to keep going, and something new will be, the market will change and it'll adapt. And, that's markets. It's never going to be the same all the time.
It never
will adapt too. I mean, if something changes and volatility gets super low, we will probably change our strategy. You know what it would probably look like just offhand? Probably be tighter spreads just because wings will be cheaper. There might be some more speculation, buying calls, buying puts, buying straddles, stuff like that to kind of capitalize on low volatility. But when that happens, we'll address the situation.
We just want to stay ahead of it. People say, well, will you tell me what you're trading this week? Yes, I will. You'll have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. That's worth, how much money is that worth? $1.4 million. That's really easy. That's what it's worth. It's going to be worth more next week. Now, you want to know what my trades were last week? I'll give them to you. Nick and I's trades have the life expectancy of a banana, right? Because last week's trades, remember, the herd is moving. You think the herd doesn't know about us? Our little channel, they probably don't know about, but there's a million channels and they're out there saying a million different things and CNBC, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's saying up, down, up, down. So the herd is constantly moving. We just want to be where the herd's not, because we're not investors. Okay. All we're doing is providing a service to a group of people. This is a service business that I'm in. Nick and I are in a service business. We're providing a service. We're providing puts and calls that people want to buy. And the trick is, and we have competitors that are also selling these puts and calls. So we just want to find out, where can we sell our puts and calls for just a little bit more money? We're not asking for a lot, just a little bit. And there are places, because there's millions of combinations of these darn things. Unlike when I was in the sports book, you got 32 bets every weekend. There are millions of bets every day. And one final thing about who's losing. I sell a put at 933. I can assure you that by the end of the day, if I'm still holding that put, I've probably had 3, 4, maybe 1,000 transactions on the other side. In other words, people don't stick with me all day. They're in and out of these trades all the time.
Yes.
All the people think, well, it's you against someone else. No, it's not. No, I'm just providing. All I'm doing is saying, here's my thing.
It's liquidity right at that moment.
It's liquidity at that second.
At that second. It's like you walk into the store and you buy the Coke off the, out of the cooler. It's not like that Coke costs that amount, right at they'd come in at different prices. There's different stock. It's just liquidity right at that moment.
That's exactly right. I'm just using my thing here, my calculator. We used to say there are millions of trades. Why? Because there's 390 trading minutes in a day, right? Yeah. Well, we now have changed our algorithm, our bot, so we can trade second by second, right? So that makes 23,400 seconds in a day. So then you say you're going to take 10 different price targets, 10 different stop losses, 10 different wing widths. You're going to do a put side and a call side. Now you're going to do opening range breakouts. You're going to do ratio spreads. You're going to do reverse iron condors. You're going to do double calendars. Now, your exponential moving average, 20 versus 40, 10 versus 10, 10 versus 20, 5 versus 40, 60 versus 12, whatever it is. All of a sudden, you're into hundreds and hundreds of millions of trade combinations per day. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of combinations. And everywhere out there, there's people that want to buy them. There's people that want to buy all those combinations all the time, and they're just begging to find sellers, and they're willing to give up a little because they need it for some reason. They need the protection, or they have a firm belief in direction. Yeah. And so they're willing to pay a little extra. We provide that to them. And that's why it will work in all markets. It will work in all conditions, as long as people want to buy puts and calls, as long as people have faith in the market. And we help SIBO have faith in the market because we provide a liquid market.
If people lose faith in the market, that's a bigger issue than what we got.
Then it's over.
Yeah, then it's over. The ride is over for everybody. But
right.
I don't think we'll ever get to that point. So
yeah, John, Nick and I actually did a study. When was it? 2 weeks ago, about nanos. I don't know what a nanosecond is, but we looked at milliseconds.
Yeah.
We looked at a
option pricing,
in the thousandths of a second, which they call milliseconds. Mm-hmm. And in the course of 1 second, an option we looked at went from, Nick, I'm going to get the numbers wrong. I'm going to say around 4-ish to 75 and closed at 14. And a lot of people, friends of ours, got closed at $35. Mm-hmm. I think that's accurate. Is that ish, right?
Yeah.
It was, I couldn't believe, I had no idea that was the case. I mean, I knew it changed a lot second by second. I didn't realize the volume when they break it down to milliseconds. It moves a lot sometimes, and you gotta be able to trade quickly, and ability to do that.
I wish I had a market update for you. We've gone absolutely nowhere the entire session. I just incredibly nothing open here. I hate to use nothing burger, but it most certainly is. Just absolutely nothing happening here, Rob.
No, if you have Crazy Ivans on right now, this is great. You get a nice theta decay all day long.
Yeah.
Another day, another dollar, it just keeps ringing your bell. And normally I would have, 10 to 20%, but we hit it out of the park, and, we close them at 25%. And so what are you going to do? We're in with that flat spot, just like we showed on our graph. We're in one of these, where is it? For the crazy, we're in one of the, well, here we are, right? Here we are. So we'll wait till we get in, and then, they'll come off every 13.9 days. It's been that way for 2,200 days that we've been trading this thing. It's the same thing. And again, the same thing. People are willing to pay us when the market goes down. They're willing to pay us for the insurance. That's what we're in the insurance. We're not in the investing business at all.
For sure. Well said, sir. You want to take a quick little 90-second break, and we'll come back and do this all tomorrow?
9:15 tomorrow morning. And Nick, we are going to be showing a brand new product, I think.
You got to come hang out with us.
It's going to be really cool. It's going to be cool. You're going to see some really cool stuff.
We'll see y'all at 9:15. Peace.
Say goodbye, Maria. Goodbye, Maria.
Bye, Maria.